A historic hearing on the human rights violation in Kashmir was held by the Subcommittee on Human Rights of the European Parliament at the headquarters of the European Commission in Brussels. The hearing was attended by approximately 500 people, including human rights activists, the Kashmir diaspora, members of the European Parliament, members of British Parliament, several officials of the United Nations and the European Union. They emphasized the need of implementing and acting upon the recommendations suggested for resolving the Kashmir issue presented in the Human Rights Commissioner report on the state of Jammu and Kashmir.
A huge thank you for people that have travelled from different parts of the world for this historic hearing. For the first time in 11 years, we've had official recognition and work on the human rights situation in Kashmir. We welcome the UN's report. We're delighted that Madam Chung was here today to talk about human rights violations in Kashmir. We urge for both sides to the party to allow access to have an independent inquiry into moving forward of human rights violations. We have to recognise the UN report, the human rights violations, the gross violations where people have been raped, tortured, mass disappearances, half widows, and of course the victims need to be heard more. I'm delighted to have colleagues, MEP colleagues with us today for this historic hearing. I've never been to a human rights meeting that has been so well attended. Such is the importance of this issue. People are dying. We must stop these killings and violations. Young people are being tortured, shot by pellet guns, women are being raped, and there's been huge gross violations. And the army personnel with the SPA, that needs to stop, because impunity cannot be given to military for them human rights violations. Not one person, I say this again, not one army personnel has ever been prosecuted for human rights against civilians. Of course, we all condemn the terrorist attack last week in Pulwama. But however, this is an even big statement for us to have dialogue with the Kashmiris. Only when you have dialogue with the Kashmiris, it's them who are the main contestants, and we have to have dialogue with them to decide their future, a future free of human rights violations and a future to live in peace and prosperity like everyone here in Europe. They're not asking for charity, they're asking for rights. Kashmiri blood isn't cheaper than European blood. So we must work together to get a meaningful solution to this.
I thank the European Parliament, the Committee on Human Rights, Wajid Khan, especially all the MEPs who have arranged it. This is a formal hearing, exchange of views on Jammu and Kashmir, and I was in The Hague for an International Court of Justice case, and I travelled immediately as I finished because this was so important. The Jammu and Kashmir, and most of the MEPs, almost all of them, few exceptions, they highlighted the gross atrocities in Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. They expressed their unity with the Kashmiris. They suggested and supported an immediate halt to whatever is going on in IOK. Pakistan has always been supportive of that. We want to have dialogue with India to resolve Jammu and Kashmir dispute. We are encouraged to be here and encouraged by the support that the European Parliament is extending to the Kashmiris, to the Kashmir cause, to the resolution of Jammu and Kashmir dispute. We are very grateful, and the Kashmiri people are very grateful. We hope for a peaceful resolution of the Jammu and Kashmir dispute, but first an immediate end to the atrocity. More than 300 people have died since 2016, the Shahadat of Burhan Wani. More than 15,000 people are missing, 15,000 are injured. It is a terrible, terrible situation, and I am very heartened that the European Parliament has taken a note of it. I hope something good will come out of it. I am again very grateful to Wajid Khan. I am very thankful to all of you.
What's really important for all of the region, for India, for Pakistan, for Kashmir, is that we put behind us this belligerent language and think about a better and more prosperous future for the people of that region. There are young populations there, they need education, they need opportunities, and that area has huge opportunities and huge potential. And I know for a fact that the ordinary people of India, Pakistan and Kashmir just want peace and opportunity and a better quality of life. And that's what we all need to work together to aim for that.
As Mubarak has said, we need to work together. This is not an occasion for name calling and throwing blame. I represent hundreds of thousands of Kashmiri people in the West Midlands who go about their daily lives in peace and freedom. They take it for granted that they will not be murdered or imprisoned without trial or raped or abused. They take it for granted, as they should, because that is a basic human right, and it is a human right that should apply to all people at all times, everywhere in the world. And it should apply equally, therefore, to their cousins, their parents and grandparents, their brothers and sisters in Kashmir itself. And we, here in the European Parliament, a great democratic institution of a unique kind, we should speak now with one voice with the United Nations in saying we want the same basic human rights for Kashmiris in Kashmir as Kashmiris in Europe and everybody else in Europe enjoys. It's the least we can do.
I think this has been a historic hearing. For too long, nearly 80,000 Kashmiris are missing since 1989. Gross human rights abuses have been taking place. International reputable NGOs have recognized that there is torture, rape and murder taking place. And it's right in the heart of democracy. 500 million people are represented in the EU that we speak about this gross human rights abuse. In an institution which was founded by two belligerents, Germany and France, they came together and became friends. This is a lesson for us to learn as far as India and Pakistan is concerned. And as my good friend Nashina Mubarak mentioned, that in our own country we settled a dispute, a long dispute between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. We sat down and we worked it out. The people at the heart of that was the Irish people, and they agreed a way forward. Kashmiris have to be at the center of the dialogue and to bring about a resolution to this dispute. It cannot be resolved by the gun. It cannot be resolved by the use of high-velocity pellet guns, which maims and murders and blinds and destroys the future of the future generation. I once again commend the work of Wajid Khan and all the other colleagues in bringing about today's debate, and we go further, inshallah, and we recommend that both sides of the line of control are visited by the UN, and we hold to account those people that are committing human rights abuses.
But I'm absolutely delighted that we have this hearing here today, and I want to pay huge tribute to Wajid Khan and Antonio Panzeri, and indeed all MEPs that have worked together to achieve this. I first became involved 10 years ago, and I'll never forget it. I was at Oldham Town Hall on a Friday evening with Afzal Khan, now an MP in the UK, and Yasmin Dar, a councillor in Greater Manchester. And it was actually women and children from my region showing pictures and films of the awful suffering of their family members in Kashmir. This has got to stop. There has got to be a peaceful solution, a future for the young people of Kashmir. We have to work together to find a solution through politics that crucially includes the voices of the women and children of Kashmir.
I'll try to keep this very short indeed. First of all, congratulations to Wajid, and thank you for the extremely hard work he put into this, and all of the other people, MEPs and others, who have brought this issue to light within the European Parliament. I hope the European Union can act in a positive way to ensure that this dispute doesn't drag on for many, many more years. And to those involved in it, I would simply say this: if governments in this situation have nothing to hide, then they will allow international inspection. That's really quite simple. And with international inspection, we can start to put this on the road to the kind of settlement which will allow a beautiful and rich region to become prosperous and for the people to have a future. They have not known a future for 70 years. It's about time they did.
First of all, say thank you to Wajid Khan and all the other MEPs who have contributed in this today's debate.
I think it's absolutely important that the European Union, which actually values the human rights, which wants to see peace and prosperity in the world, actually giving time to this agenda. And I hope actually they develop on this, because we have seen in the last 70 years, day after day, tens of thousands of Kashmiris have been paying the price of this oppression that is going on. And there is a UN resolution which actually gives the solution. It is just not acceptable that the value of human life anywhere is valued differently from anywhere else. So having this here today, well done to Wajid Khan. We hope this matter gets resolved, because peace and prosperity lies through dialogue, not through war.
Official hearing हुई है, इससे एक बेसिस मिल गई है तमाम EU इंस्टीट्यूशंस को, चाहे वो ट्रेड इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं या वो डिप्लोमेसी की इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं या कमीशन और काउंसिल है, कि वो अब ये कह सकते हैं कि हमारे पार्लियामेंटेरियंस, हमारे जो इलेक्टेड मेंबर्स हैं, जो तमाम EU के लोगों को रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं, ये उनकी ख्वाहिश है कि हम इंडिया के साथ ये ह्यूमन राइट्स वायलेशंस पे बात करें और उनको क्वेश्चन करें और उनको आंसरेबल ठहराएं। तो ये बहुत ही एक अहम अहमियत की आज हेयरिंग हुई है, और इंशाल्लाह ये पहली नहीं है, ये एक दरवाज़ा खुल गया है अब, और एक लेजिटिमेसी मिल गई है EU को, जिसके को साथ लेके, जिसको आगे लेके इंशाल्लाह हम भी मेहनत करेंगे, हमारे बाकी MEPs भी मेहनत करेंगे, और हम कोशिश करेंगे कि जो UN रिपोर्ट की रिकमेंडेशंस हैं उसको इंडिया एक्सेप्ट करे।
अब इससे ये है कि एक रास्ते खुल गए आगे, कि जैसे जो हिंदुस्तान ने अपना एक लबादा ओढ़ रखा था दुनिया के सबसे बड़ी जमहूरियत का, और मुख्तलिफ ममालिक के साथ अपने कारोबार को बढ़ाने के लिए वो जो फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट कर रहा था, मुझे यकीन है कि ये अब हिंदुस्तान को आसानी के साथ जो है ना, ये मौका नहीं मिलेगा यहाँ पर, स्पेशली यूरोप के अंदर या EU के अंदर, कि वो अपने मकासद की तकमील कर सके। उसके मकासद जो है वो इस इलाके पर बालादस्ती है, इस खिते पर, और कोई नहीं है उसका मकसद ये। तो ये मैं समझता हूँ कि अब हमें इसमें जनीवा के अंदर भी जाना है, हमने UN के अंदर भी बात करनी है। इन मुख्तलिफ ममालिक जो हैं, हमारी जो यहाँ पर डायस्पोरा है, उससे मैं ये गुजारिश करूँगा कि वो अपनी जो नेशनल पार्लियामेंट्स हैं उधर जाकर भी इस मामले को उठाएं, ताकि हम एक कलेक्टिव एफर्ट के साथ जो है ना इसको आगे ले जाएं, और कश्मीरी की जो सफरिंग है इस वक्त जो है ह्यूमन राइट्स की, इसको ख़त्म कराया जा सके, और इस मसले का जो हल है जो अक़वाम मुत्तहिदा की करारदादों के मुताबिक है उस पर इम्प्लीमेंट करवाया जाए।
They also called on India to immediately stop the atrocities and human rights violations perpetrated by India in Kashmir. SM Irfan Tahir, World News, Brussels.